All right, let's dive into an idea that's, well, it's pretty profound and maybe a little unsettling. What if we zoomed all the way out, looked at Earth's entire history, and realized we're just this tiny, almost accidental blip on the radar?
So I want you to really think about this question, because it's at the core of everything we're talking about today. What if the planet never needed us to, thrive? What if Earth just never needed us at all?
Okay, let's dive into this. Wow. This right here really puts things into perspective, doesn't it? What you're seeing is the whole 4.5 billion year history of Earth. You've got first life way back there, then the dinosaurs have their run. But then, look all the way over on the far, far right. See that? That little sliver? You can barely even see it. Yeah, that's us. That's all of human history, right there.
So that tiny sliver, that's just a tiny fraction of the whole story. I mean, think about it. For the first 99.9% of its life, for billions and billions of years, Earth was a world without a single human on it. It was a world totally, completely without us.
And in that early world, the oceans were anything but empty. No, they were absolutely buzzing, just teeming with microbial life. And these were just simple little organisms, but they were so powerful. They're the ones who started the long, long process of shaping the very air we're breathing right now.
And then, life eventually moves onto land, and these incredible vast forests start to rise and fall, almost like they were breathing in this silent planetary rhythm. The whole world was just working. It was functioning perfectly, all on its own, keeping this incredible balance without any help from us, or from anyone for that matter.
Just let that number sink in for a second. 3.8 billion years. For that long, life has found a way to hang on, to persist on this planet. I mean, that's a kind of resilience it's almost impossible to wrap your head around. It adapted, it survived, it kept going through all these insane changes, long, long before anything remotely like us showed up.
So what you start to realize is that this whole pre-human Earth, it was already a complete, totally successful system, right? It was regulating its own climate, it had these thriving ecosystems, life was everywhere, and it did all of this without needing what we call intelligence.
Now, of course, that history wasn't all calm and peaceful. Not at all. It was punctuated by these huge, world-changing extinctions. But here's the thought. Maybe the way we look at extinction is a little too human, What if, from the planet's point of view, it's not a tragedy? What if it's just a rhythm?
Yeah, from the Earth's perspective, a mass extinction is kind of just a reset button. It's this recurring process where life collapses, sure, but then it adapts, and it always, always comes back. And a lot of the time, it comes back even stronger and weirder and more diverse than it was before.
And you can kind of see that cycle right here. It's a four-step dance, really. First, life is flourishing, everything's great. Then, boom, some great filter shows up. Could be a giant asteroid, could be massive volcanoes. The whole world resets. And then, life returns. But it's stranger. It's new. For the planet, this isn't some horrible disaster. It's just business as usual. A normal, repeatable process.
And this quote, man, it just hits the nail on the head. Earth does not mourn, it adapts. The planet doesn't feel loss like we do. It doesn't grieve. It just adjusts. It adapts. And it keeps on going.
So you've got this slow, steady, cyclical rhythm going for billions of years. And then, suddenly, something completely new shows up on the scene. Us. And when you look at it through the lens of deep time, our arrival wasn't gradual. It was this sudden, almost explosive event.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the mismatch it shows. I mean, it's so clear. The Earth works on geologic time. It's slow. It's incremental. It thinks in eons. Our pace, that's human time. It's fast. It's exponential. We think in centuries or even decades. We are literally operating on a completely different clock than the planet we call home.
So how does nature deal with this new, super fast force? Well, it doesn't really fight back. It doesn't resist. It just waits. I mean, think about any abandoned place you've ever seen. A building, a whole city. Nature just calmly takes it back. It's like this incredible planetary patience, almost as if it knows that our time here, like everything else before us, might not be permanent.
Okay, so this brings us to the final part of this whole story, and honestly, it might be the most uncomfortable part. It's this really quiet but profound idea that kind of clicks into place when you look at the entire biography of the planet.
It forces you to ask a really big, fundamental question. After looking at 3.8 billion years of evidence, does life need consciousness to flourish? I mean, really need it? The planet's own history seems to scream the answer. And that answer is, nope, apparently not.
And if that's true, it leads to a pretty startling thought. The thing that defines us, our intelligence, it might just be an optional extra in the grand experiment of life, just one possible path. And from the planet's long, long view, it might even be a temporary one.
I don't know about you, but that's a really humbling thought. It totally reframes our whole story. We tend to think of ourselves as the grand finale, right? The whole point of the story. But maybe we're not. Maybe we're just a single chapter. A really fascinating, incredibly loud chapter for sure, but just one chapter in a book that's billions and billions of pages long.
So, where does that leave us? Well, it leaves us with this quiet, final thought. The Earth never asked for us, but in its long, crazy, unfolding story, it allowed us to exist. It made a space for us. And the rest of our chapter, well, that's still being written.